Hey everybody, it's Hawk here, and today we're doing a deck profile for Reaper format. Specifically, my zombie deck, or DeadRat as it's typically called. I prefer Zombie Rat, frankly, because DeadRat I don't know, it just feels like it's more important than the rat actually is. The rat's not actually that important. It's just a means to an end. Anyway, Reaper format is a format from 2005, the end specifically. It's after GOAT format, so it looks a lot like format, but I guess a bit less explosive. Well, the historical version. The modern version, that's a little more refined, is plenty explosive, and I'll get into that with my side deck choices. But let's just break down the deck, and I can roughly tell you how it plays. So we got two Ryokoki in here, and a Vampire Lord. Now, this may seem a little weird, but Pyramid Turtle is the greatest recruiter in the entire game at this point. I'm not even being that sarcastic. This is a really good card. It'll fetch either of these, and once Vampire Lord is on the board, you have to run him over. So yes, he is afraid of Cyber Dragon, but that's about it. Otherwise, he's going to just keep getting you value by just dodging stuff. You just don't care. Like, he'll just sit there and be obnoxious. And then you can just make your opponent, like, dump trap cards and stuff, which is very funny. I got 3 Zombira. This is my version. Not everyone runs Zombira, but I choose to, just because of his interaction with Skill Drain, and he's another target for deck devastation. So we got 3 of them. We got a Breaker. We have a DD Warrior Lady. We have an Exile Force. These are not necessary to run, but I feel like I need more back row removal. She just solves problems, and he solves problems, and he is fetchable off of Rat, which we have 3 of, because they fetch us more Pyramid Turtles. This is pretty much the only reason Giant Rat's in here. Now, you could play a Zombie Warrior combo, which Warrior is one of the best decks in the format. Monarch is definitely the most common. I don't know if I'd call it the best, but it's definitely the most common you're going to run into. And then Chaos is pretty good. As is Cyberstein OTK, but that's more of you side against that or you just lose to it. So, after that we got our Sangan and our 2 Spirit Reapers. This is pretty normal looking for a deck of this type. You can sub out some stuff, but frankly Zombira's really good. Now, here's the actual reason you run zombies in Reaper format. It is Book of Life. Book of Life is an amazing card. It is effectively 3 copies of Monster Reborn. It also banishes frickin' Treeborn Frogs out of the graveyard. Other than that, you just grab something you don't want someone to revive and then move on with your day. But it's more revives, meaning it's more copies of Ryokoki, meaning you will just crash with Abandon. You don't care. It's like, oh no, I lost my Ryokoki. I'll just play Book of Life and get it back. Moving on with my day. Also, you can just cheat him out with like very little investment. It's a really just solid, consistent resource loop that just lets you go. I will make 1-for-1 trades all day. Don't care. I will make all of the trades. Doesn't matter. Then we have Heavy Storm, because everyone has Heavy Storm. Dark Hole. This is not something everyone runs, but I'm choosing to run this. We have 1 Pot of Avarice. This is the most suspect card in this deck. I run it because it is by the time I see it, it's usually live, and I just dump more things back in my deck. Typically Pyramid Turtles and Rats. Maybe a Zombira. 1 Tribute to the Doomed. It's removal and unbricks my hand of things I don't want in my hand. Smashing Ground because it's a really good card. Nobleman of Crossout, it's a good card. MST, Book of Moon, Snatch Steal, Premature Burial. These are cards I don't need to explain to you why they're in here. They're just good cards. Deck Devastation Virus. This is a hotly contested card in Zombies because there are some people who really just think it's a terrible, terrible card. For me, a guy who in the last tournament he played in about 2 months ago, I opened this card in like 3 different games, and I happened to have Zombira in my hand at the same time, so... No, I love it. This card's hilarious. And if you don't want to run it, you don't have to run it, but I'm running Zombira, so I have way more targets, so it's kind of worth it. Because if you resolve this, you're probably going to win, or at least get so far ahead you don't care. Torrential Tribute is a good card. Skill Drain at 3 is a stupidly good card. I ran this at 2, and that was a mistake. Running this at 3 is my answer. Now, it's not your answer, but with my particular ratios and the way my deck happens to run half the time, 3, because I want this card on all the time. And then I can just keep 1 in my hand in case I need it. Call of the Haunted, because we didn't have enough revival. And then 2 Solemn Judgments. Now, you would think this is an auto-include at 3. But with Rescue Cat OTK and Stein OTK floating around, also Burn sort of existing. Burn's a weird one, but it's definitely there, and you really want to keep your life points. So, basically, when you're going to Solemn, you make damn sure that that is worth the life points you are paying, because it's a hefty, hefty cost. Still a good card. Still a very good card. But if you don't want to run it, you can feel free to not run it. The entire extra deck is just full of generic stuff that we're never summoning. Alright. Extra deck. We have one Hades. Hades just utterly fucks this deck. I can't trade with him with Ryokoki, and he turns off all of our recruiters. Yep, it's a bad time. It's also a bad time for everyone else who relies on recruiters. That's why we run one in the side deck. Third Ryokoki, in case you want to swap out Vampire Lord for him to just have 3 of them and just go for Bunguses all day. Personal preference there. I mean, I have tributed off a Zombira for him before. It's not common, but it does come up occasionally. We have 2 creature swaps. This card is never live for me. It's why it's in the side deck and not in the main. A lot of people run it in main. I don't, because the card hates me. It either shows up way too early and I'm just screaming at it because it's pointless, or it shows up way too late to do anything. And me and creature swap don't seem to get along. But it is a good card in this deck because we are running 6 recruiters. I mean, if you want to count Sangan at 7. Lightning Vortex is Lightning Vortex. It's a very good card and helps to unbrick your hand. Tribute to the Doomed. More copies because we need more removal. Threatening Roars is explicitly in here to kill OTK decks. There is enough of them that it's enough of a threat. Put it in here if someone's running Stein. You will be a happier person. Sakaratsu Armor if I want to just blow people up with this one because they don't have a lot of back row removal. It works fine. Saku is not actually as good as you think it is because it's not chainable and there's more than enough back row removal that you want things that are chainable. This thing. Remember, Tornado is at 3. Dust Tornado. Back row removal if you need it. Solemn Judgment is Solemn Judgment. I have it in here in case I need a third. I might change this out for something, like I might go for another Dust Tornado or something, but this is just what I'm doing. So this deck, let's just go into hand testing here, just so you guys can kind of see what hands look like, and honestly, so you can just kind of look at what you do. Oh, this is fun. So, honestly, in this point, I would do this, and then do that, and then do that. And then you pass turn, and then you just activate Deck Devastation Virus, and then giggle, because now they don't have any monsters to summon. Probably, because most things are not actually big enough for this. Like, most things are this. 1400 is kind of the magic number. So this is like an ideal hand. And then you just start smacking people with recruiters, because it's deeply amusing. Let's do another hand here real quick. Recruiters. Recruiter. See, if you're noticing that there's always a recruiter somewhere in here, that's kind of the logic. Now, I don't want to see him in here. I don't actually want to see him in this hand, unless I have a discard outlet, but whatever. These are all perfectly functional hands. Now, honestly, if your play is literally just set or summon a recruiter, place 1 back row, that's fine. Reaper games are kind of slow. Generally, you can get some pretty explosive turns going from things like various OTK decks, so just be aware of that. But all in all, Zombie's a really, really good deck, and a really good tribe to be hanging out in. So with all that being said, hope you guys all enjoy Reaper. I do. I'll be talking about it. I might talk about Edison later. I'm not as invested in that one, but I do enjoy it. So, remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. If you play Reaper, tell me what you play. If you have a deck suggestion, I might have it. I have a lot of Reaper decks, okay? I'm not saying they're good, I'm saying they're funny. Different point. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. Peace out, everybody.